to deal with this situation. I mean, seriously, when you're dealing with a teacher, yeah, hi guys. Weaver, John C. Roseman, California. How you doing? Just getting my stuff together. I need more of these drives. I talk a lot. I do a lot. I need more drives. Yesterday, there was something that got to my case, and I had to do this, and I wasn't happy about it in the first place. When I have to talk to school deans regarding a situation at school that has affected my grade point average, I keep wondering whether or not if I'm making the problems worse for myself, or was it the right course of action. I may have been reassured that it may have been the right course of action. However, the only other option for me to do without getting into a situation with our professor, keep it on, without getting into an argument with a professor at this point over here, was to drop his class. I think I talked about this. Still got the videos loaded up somehow, maybe somewhere. And I had to get this going. I mean, I've taken this professor before last semester, and his mannerisms and the way he keeps treating students one way and another way, and me is, where the fuck are you again? Oh, you're John. Okay. Oh, you made an idea. Okay, that's a good point, John. That's good. That's a good point. But what we're trying to say here is, I'm like, you son of a bitch. Discount my ass like that? You don't do that. So, last semester I dropped his ass. After 4 or 5 weeks of dealing with him. And the same thing happened again this semester. Again, I mean, I was taking an elective class and I thought maybe he would have learned his lesson. And I kept thinking, no, this guy hasn't learned his lesson. Because after 4 or 5 weeks, he's still being the same chummy asshole and discounting people left and right. So I decided to hell with it. I dropped his class again. And what's worse, I took other extra steps that I still have second thoughts over, which is contacting the school deans about the situation. Excuse me. Oh, I have a cushion for my focus here. And it wasn't easy for me to make that kind of decision. It literally wasn't an easy decision, because what I was deciding at this point over here is the future of one man's career, but not to mention the career of my own academic. And I know that other students have had issues with different professors at the time, and they would have arguments, and they would just leave. I've seen it happen a few times. I've heard it happen too many times. And coming into a situation with this particular professor, nice, charming guy, tries to show how smart he is. I wrote a novel. I'm a published author. And I've seen how big egos get. His ego was getting there. His ego was getting there, and I wasn't about to take it. And especially with the kind of stuff that he was teaching at this point over here, I'm like, okay, well, that's nice for him to teach it on this particular subject over here, but doesn't he forget the other building blocks that led them up to that point regarding his studies? When you feel like you're being dismissed and dissed at the same time, you know, it's time to salvage what little dignity and respect that you still have for yourself. And I keep thinking, I think it was still my pride as well. And I call it a confessional at this point over here. But in my head, in my past experiences of dealing with professional people. You don't treat people like crap. I understand about trying to feel like you want to be buddy-buddy with the students at this point over here, but you got to understand, you are a professor. You're in a position of somewhat of authority. Lent authority, but authority nevertheless. You're in charge of the class. You're in charge of the grades at this point over here. When the students get in there, they have to prove to you that they are earning that particular grade that you're going to bestow upon them. Or they're going to be earning a grade that maybe they haven't counted on. But regardless of that, you still have to have lines drawn to where the students have to understand where their limitations are. Sorry. And in dealing with a professor who doesn't understand that, that's what pisses me off. Now, I've heard from a few professors on campus that they've had students bellyache about them. There are reviews that happen every so often, and students are strongly encouraged to write about their professors, truthfully and honestly. Of course, the professors would like for you to lie and say, yeah, they're doing the greatest job, they're the greatest professor on earth. But you have to be honest with yourself when you do those kind of evaluations to see whether or not you've actually earned something in that professor's class. And the professors I've done reviews on actually did earn positive reviews because I have learned from them and I have interacted with them. And besides staying out of their personal lives at this point over here, or trying not to be buddy-buddy with them, I could be friendly with them, I could be friends, but I don't cross lines. And students aren't aware of this. They're not hip on this. That there are lines to cross, and you don't cross them unless there's consequences. I've seen it happen too many damn times. I've gone to college myself for 2.5 years, a long time ago. Okay, from 85 to 88, 2.5 years. And I've seen students, and I've seen professors back then. The barriers are up. The teachers were professionals. They're teaching you something. You have to listen, understand what the hell they're talking about. Pay attention to what the hell they're doing. Write down your notes. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to pass the class if you're able to regurgitate all that shit to them. So they know that you understand basics of what they're trying to teach you. I come into this particular campus, I'm enjoying education through, and most of the professors I've dealt with are friendly enough. They'll help you through, but they know the lines. But apparently there's a few professors that don't understand this. And they cross them and they don't even realize it. And perhaps the actions of people leaving would tell the professors that, but apparently not. The professor I left, I wanted to find out what was going on. I didn't respond to him, and I'm not about to. Simply put, I'm not putting myself in that situation. But the thing is, I'm already in that situation. And right now, I'm still waiting for contact from a dean regarding the situation, because this matters a great deal. It hurts me to say this. It hurts me to talk about this, because I'd like to have the respect of the instructors, but I also like for the professors to respect the students. We do have rights, and they also have rights. We have to have mutual understanding of what the guidelines are. And if we happen to cross those damn guidelines, and we've got them in writing for us, for student behavior, but it's the teacher's behavior I'm more worried about. Because if the teacher is not behaving himself or herself, then it's kind of hypocritical at this point over here, don't you think? It's a hypocrisy. And we have to make sure that everyone understands where the guidelines are, where our barriers and boundaries are, things that we can and can't cross. And that's what was driving me crazy. Besides having the weather and the air conditioner that wasn't working for God knows how long, now it's working. Just when it's about to get cooler. I'll be grateful for such small things like that. In the meantime, I have to continue with my studies in the other previous class I've got right now because I do have respect of the professor. The professor respects me, respects the class, and the class respects her. And I like the class I'm taking right now, and I have no complaints about it. Well, only for the professor that I dropped. I wish to God somebody would give me Gibbs' head slap upside his head. Say, no, you can't do that shit. What the hell were you thinking? And the problem is he wasn't thinking. That's the thing. When you're not thinking along the lines that you should be doing, you're screwing yourself over left and right, and you don't even realize it. And this is one of those times. Despite the fact that things are happening in Washington and Los Angeles and back east and everywhere else these days, it's amazing how the smaller items matter a hell of a lot more than what the national and international situation is. When you have to worry about a virus trying to kill you, you're worrying about the damn controversy regarding the viruses still trying to kill you. The political ramifications being thrown out there because of a virus is trying to kill you. And simple devices that try to keep the damn thing out. Well, these things have to be the most important thing in your arsenal. Well, they have to be extremely important. My God, what a world we live in. Anyway, that's my beef.